Why, hello there. It's a wonderful, let's say, Wednesday at 2 p.m. PST. Being live talking about the wonderful clairvoyance from ThieAudio. These were lent to me by Antdroid to check out. My favorites of the two. This is actually a sister pair to the Monarch, which I do not have here, but I got to listen to the Monarch, and I actually really enjoyed the Monarch. And the clairvoyance is similar tuning without the bass shelf, so fun stuff. Hey, Martin, Elnick, what's going on? I guess we'll jump right in to this fun little jam here. Go over more or less what's in the box and how they. If you guys saw the stream from yesterday, these have almost identical box going on. Let's see here, opens up and has the wonderful box with all the fun stuff in it, which is the leather case. Inside the leather case for this one, though, it's kind of a unique thing. Obviously, they have the tips that come with it, but the thing I thought was really cool that they did with the clairvoyance and the Monarch is they included this cable, which is actually a pretty nice cable. I talked about it yesterday a little bit. It has some nice feel to it. Not as janky as other ones. Still has a little bit of memory where it doesn't quite hold a good shape, or it's not like a flowing shape. Let's see here. The big thing I like about this is, so it comes with a 2.5, which is interesting, but I don't know if this is focusing because it's delayed on my screen. Maybe I'll have to enable preview. So real quick, you can kind of see, come on, you can do it, camera. Maybe, there it is. Okay, 2.5, right? Nice little adapter. It's kind of, feels nice in the hand. Has that kind of a nice feeling little notches there. You can put your fingers on and plug in really easily. It's a 2-pin. Let me unhook these things. 2-pin deal for the IMs. Hey, what's up, Koskun? Alejandro, what's going on? Yeah, I'll post the whole video. Will be in the my to watch once it finishes the YouTube algorithm. Or if you have the link, just click on it. You just won't be able to see the live chat, and you can watch what happens. So this thing's pretty cool because you can actually it comes with these little adapters, which not as cool because they're massive. So you can imagine that hanging out of your DAP. This is the 4.4 Pinacon. I won't be using that today, but it also comes with the 3.5 adapter as well. So you have to snap it in and make sure it's seated properly. But it's just flush. It's not like a socketed thing or anything. That's actually, I think that's pretty cool though, the fact that they have the adapters like that to, for whatever thing you're using. Thing is, if you have, one sec, I was not prepared. I didn't have my DAP with me. I do have a loaner DAP here, the wonderful DX160. So just to give you an idea of how this would be sticking out of a DAP, it's got some serious height to it. If you were to, I wouldn't necessarily rock this in my pocket, if that makes sense. But it's there. It does its job. Actually, I need that on. Then right into the clairvoyance themselves, which these are, I believe, MSRP is right around $750, I think, for these. They are very pretty. They have like this abalone color to them. Actually, my camera's doing great with focusing right now. And they're really pretty shells on the faceplate there. The rest is just like a black design. The fit is pretty nice, similar to the Legacies that I was messing with yesterday. Another thing that's kind of nice that they did, I don't know if you can, there you go. So that's the port for it, but it's red. And then on the left side, so I thought this was really cool. On the left side is blue, so you know which one's left and right. So I thought that was a cool design that they did with that. Yeah, 45 degrees would be a much I would much prefer that as well. I think the Dunu cables, you can get those, and they have the really cool pop out where they'll pop out you can swap them that way. And there's like a little BNC or little adapter for those, and those have an adapter that does a 45-degree Martin for IEMs. If you're into that, these are 2-pin, like I was saying. So let's go ahead and get these on the cables here, and red to red, and then on the cable themselves, which is also kind of cool. The red has. Let's see if I can get this. Do it again. It's not gonna play nice. Come on, focus on the hand. There you go. It has a little red on the right side, so that's kind of a way to tell what's what. And then they just. Wait. So I'm gonna do it. Not flipping you off, I promise. But anyways, just slots in like that. And for the left one, just kind of I'm gonna focus in maybe. Just slots in. All right. Build quality feels nice. I'm using the Atlas Ednas again for this listen test. These are my favorite IEM tips currently. I also really like the Zelastic tips. They're like the stickier style, but then they if you put them anywhere other than like in a nice case or if you put them in your pocket, or they'll pick up everything, lint, dust, and they become a mess. You have to like rinse them off all the time, let them dry out. And whereas these ones are a little bit easier to get along with on the regular, which are the Atlas Edna medium softs, I believe. That's what these ones are. And I'm using the RME ADI2 DAC again for the IEM listening, and I will swap that out in Wonderful Cobuzz. There we go. It should be showing up now as the ADI2. And once again, so it goes into fit. These things actually fit pretty great. They're pretty comfortable. You can see they don't stick out nearly as much. They're still pretty big in the ear. They don't stick out as much as the Moondrop Blessing 2s, but they do have a nice fit to them. They're not. I think that the Legacy 5 actually I feel like has a slightly better, it doesn't press against my ears as much as these. So these do have a little bit bigger of a body than those, but they're comfortable. There's no edges or anything like that will catch or on your ears. But I can see over time these being, if they're pressing against your ears, if you're sensitive to that could be a problem for you. And then the other thing I'm going to do is once I do a couple tracks and kind of talk about them, I'll throw in these ones. My Unique Melody MEST to do a comparison. These are about twice the price. Maybe not twice, maybe maybe twice, depending, like about twice the price of what these are. So not really a fair, comparison, but it'd be kind of a fun one. These are one of my top IEMs. I love these things. My fun IEM is the Campfire Andromeda Golds, which is basically the Campfire Andromeda 2020 with a bass shelf and a little bit more treble sparkle. Let's see. So first track up, I'm doing more of the audiophile type stuff. It's Hiromi Spectrum. She's a jazz piano type deal. So we will jump into that and see how this goes. Hopefully I don't blow my eardrums out trying to do this. Let's see here. Right off the bat, there's really cool like the bassier piano keys, and then into like the higher keys. It's pretty nice. Let's see here. These do take a little bit more power than the Legacies and or both Legacies, honestly. I have to turn up a little bit more. Also with jazz and more traditional audiophile music, you tend to need to crank it up a little bit. For whatever reason, it's always mastered a little bit quieter. Probably thanks to the loudness wars from prior years or whatever. Honestly, the tone of the piano, because piano is one of my favorite instruments to listen to, it sounds pretty good. it's definitely sounds like a piano. Sorry, bad joke. The quality's good. The tonal balance is really good. It has really good, like, it's what's the term for that? Anyways, when it's transiting from like the deeper notes to the mids to the higher notes, it's keeping up and moving with it. It's kind of a smooth listen. It doesn't have any, so far, none of the higher notes I'm getting any kind of issues or any treble spikes or anything like that. Yeah, so that one's kind of a fun one. Let's see. What would be another fun, more... Oh, here we go. So here's another piano track with a male vocal. It's Dermot Kennedy, Giants piano, and I definitely have to turn it down. His voice, when it gets into the highs, is a little bit grainy and a little bit higher, but not bad. But when he's singing normally, it's not getting it. He has a kind of a slight gravel to his voice, and not with these, but in general. See, the piano on this one sounds really good too. And the vocals, when he's not doing the chorus, but when he's just singing, it's more intimate. And then when he's doing the chorus, it's kind of pulled back a little bit, which is kind of interesting. All right, pretty good. Let's see about doing another fun percussion. So Go-Go Penguin, Signal in the Noise, another good track to kind of test how the kick drum is really good. I really like it. It doesn't have the same impact as what the Monarch had or has, but it's got a nice bass impact there and hit. Detail's actually really good too. I'm picking up a lot of the like the brushes and the impacts of the drumsticks and what have you. And then there's a piano kind of kicking in there, and it's really nice. And it's kind of cool because the piano kind of comes in from my right side, and it's kind of slowly it feels like it's kind of moving more to my center, if that makes sense with this track. And now it's kind of, and then it hits and there's another bit there, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I believe it sounds like there's a guitar in there somewhere or something, like a bass, maybe a bass. Pretty good. I'm getting a lot. The separation's decent, and it's got really nice sound to it. It's pretty impressive actually for the price. I really like the. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the LCD GX, if that makes sense, because it's really smooth. It doesn't have too much. It doesn't have too much like a sharpness and separation. It's just a nice. It's very smoothly going through the different instruments as they're playing together. All right, I want to go to. We can do some. I'll be silly. Let's see here. They're gone. Soon my tracks I like to listen to are gone. Let's see here. These ones can be interesting. This. I'm gonna do Vincent by Susan Wong. It's kind of a blues jazz. And this one can potentially have some sibilance, or kind of like that. If you're treble sensitive, this one can be a little bit rough. But it's interesting because I think this one's one that you can hear the pops as her mouth as she's singing, and like but really intimate. She seems right. It's actually really nice. Yeah, and picking up the pops in her as her lips separate, that sound, like she's singing close to the mic, and you can hear her lips separating. And the transition from the different notes in her voice as she goes low to high kind of deal is pretty nice. Pretty intimate. And detail is pretty good. I wouldn't say this is like detail monsters by any means, but it's good. And then the bass is really nice. These are just a really easy going. I would say that these would be a very logical step up from the Legacy 5, for instance. But definitely way better detail. But I think that it's not that like fake detail where it's overly treble, you know. But they're good. So let's go into something a little more different, I guess. I think this one was a good one. I can't recall. You Can't Go Wrong, Gone Beyond. It's kind of a folk Americana. The bass is really good. It's got this, I'm actually feeling it in my skull a little bit. Vocals nice. It does have a little bit of noise in this track. I think it's part of like the track though. Like I think they purposely put noise in it, which I don't. Sometimes it's like, why do you do that? Let's see here. The strumming is really good. I really like the strumming on the guitar, and the kick drum I think is what it is. It's thumping. It's really nice. And I want to say with the Monarch, these are it has that sub bass, so that impact would be even more crazy for the kick drum. And now we're getting the what am I thinking? Tambourine, clapping. It's in the background, and it's cool because her voice and it's a male too in there. It's more intimate, and then there's a whistle. It's really cool. It's kind of coming from the left side, but kind of bleeds a little bit over to right, but mostly on the left side. And she's singing more on the left side too. So I think when the male kicks in, male voice, he's more on the right side. Yeah, or the secondary female. Yeah, they're on. It's pretty cool. They're on different sides of my. Like if I was at a venue, I'd be looking at two of them standing here. Guitarist should be over here. The drums would be behind. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that. It's really showing the imaging is really good for this track specifically. Really enjoying that. It's pretty nice. This one's a fun listen. I like how the stage is good too. It's not like massive or anything like that, but it's definitely more in your head. But it's the way that they do the imaging and separation on the stage is nice. So yeah, that's a fun one. Any questions at all for this that you guys would have on these? Let me know. I think this is a track I'm going to use to do the comparison with the MEST. So I'm going to swap out the MEST now and kind of see how that goes. And I'm actually going to use the same cable as well. So I'm just going to pop these off. And so to me, the MEST, the Unique Melody MEST, tend to have a lot better across the board detail, imaging, stage in most scenarios. So I haven't really compared these yet. This is the first time I've compared these two, like A, B, kind of going back and forth. So this will be unique experience for me as well. So after that one, I will say that the bass in that was really good. I really liked the way that the bass was hitting on with that track with the kick drum, I believe is what it was. So it's the quality is pretty good. It's not bloaty. It's not very. It didn't come off very bloaty or bleedy. It didn't really bleed too much into the lower mids or anything like that. Quantity is pretty good actually. Because I'm so used to hearing like in my head, I saw the Monarch in my head as like this. It was these really nice, really good bass. But those are actually pretty great. If you didn't want, I think the difference between these is that the Monarch has like a 200 hertz bass shelf, I believe, whereas these do not. So I think that's the only real difference between the two. And so that if you want something a little more like impactful, like deep bass, the Monarch would be more, or I guess you could say more fun would be Monarch, and if you want something more not neutral, but more, I guess not even Harman, but more generally not. What would you call that? It just doesn't have the bass shelf. But it's good. Like, if it's just a smooth listen with no major. They're still fun. Those, I mean, that's really fun bass that I was listening with the Slice track. The quantity for it, especially with this last track that You Can't Go Wrong, is really good. I didn't get anything gnarly, even with the Go Go Penguin jazz. That was the kick drum, and that was really good as well. And then you have the bass guitar, and that came in really nice. I'd say it's probably definitely the bass is one of the features I like the most about these. The Clairvoyance specifically, not the Unique Melody Mests. Okay, so Unique Melody Mests are in. We got a decent seal, and we're gonna hit go. Oh, I think. Oh. Yeah, I'll do a rock song next. If you have a rock song in mind, Koskin, post it here and I'll look it up and I'll play it. So the bass on this is very similar. It actually feels a little slightly pulled back a little bit more, but it feels more accurate. And then the vocals are crisper, more definitely wider stage. And the detail's better. The detail's definitely better. Ooh. And the tonal, I think the tonal balance is slightly more in my preference with the Mest. It's kind of like, it's just crisper. It's cleaner sound. Okay, Thunderstruck, AC/DC, I'll do that. And Chops, oh yeah, that's a good one. Actually, I'll do that one too. I'll do both those. Those are both good tracks. The whistling is really good. But the thing with the Mest is I'm picking up more that fake noise. Sorry, I'm talking loud. These are definitely more sensitive than the Clairvoyance. I should turn it down a little bit. The fake noise that they've added to the track, I can hear it with these. More, it's like it's more like I can actually tell that it's a layer in the track, if that makes sense. And then, yeah, the separation is definitely better with the Mest. And I like the vocals a little bit better. They're a little more airy. And then there's the echo and where they're recording. You can hear the echo a little bit more with these. It seems more realistic. The stage is better. So, all right, we will do Thunderstruct. So I'm going to start with the Mest, and then we'll swap. It's Thunderstruck. I can hear that it's, the brushes or the hi-hat, and then the vocals, and the guitar is more on the right side too. So the guitar and the hi-hat, and then the vocals more here, and they'll build up. Sounds really good, and the vocals are slowly moving to center too, which is kind of cool. But it's still staying more on this side. Oh, there we go. The kick drum, once again, is a little. It's definitely impactful, but not as impactful as with the Claire. It seems like. It's definitely pulled. It's not pulled back. It's more like that. It's deeper in the stage. Like, it's further away. Like, it's actually more realistic. Like, it's definitely behind the singers. Oh yeah, and the guitars. Now this is pretty excellent. There's his vocals kicking in, singing, and that's more like he's more center stage. It's classic. All right, yeah, pretty great little combo there. This definitely sounded really good with that. I would say that the bass is definitely further away, so it doesn't have as much. It doesn't feel as impactful, but it's more like that dynamics impact, if that makes sense, where it's just not boomy. It's like it's very accurate, but not overly boomy. So let's switch back to these ones and see how the Clairs do. And I've triggered somebody by calling them Clairs. I've been calling the Clair and the Mona, and some people were getting a little triggered by that. Let's see here. All right, sealed in. Let's turn it up a little bit because these two definitely. I've had to go up at least 5 decibels volume with these compared to the MEST. So, all right, AC/DC. I'm going to start a little bit further in just so we can move it along. Oh. Same thing. It's definitely a smaller stage. Missing some of the detail, like the hi-hats don't sound as crisp and clean. The vocals aren't as crisp or as present. But the kick drum is definitely there. I would say that these are fun for that, for sure. It's not like overwhelming though. It's very just accurate, clean kick drum. It sounds good. It's like it's just more impactful. So it's very similar. Like this sounds good, but like these more crisp, and these are a little more smooth. Like they're smoothed out. Not as good of when I say smooth, I usually mean what I mean by that is that the image separation isn't as crisp, isn't as sharp or like drastic. And things tend to smooth together or blend together well. Not in like a bloaty way or in a bad way, but like in more like the realistically, like they're layered. His voice is definitely more intimate. Not as airy though, not as crisp, not as present. But it still has like all the same qualities. It's just everything's brought in tighter. More in my head. And the bass is addicting though with these. I can see these are pretty fun. But it's not, like I said, it's not like in a fun way, like where it's elevator and like that. These are definitely fun though. It's an easy listening. I can see these getting along well with most genres so far. Same with the MEST. I think the MEST is just literally just the next stage up kind of deal. Yeah, those are fun. Let's go. Sorry, I was talking loud. It's so hard to not talk loud sometimes. Chop suey. Let's see. Yeah, I'll leave these in and then we'll switch to the... Yeah, the universal MEST is I really like the signature of the Unique Melody MEST. Universal. Antdroid, who lent me these, and you can see his review or impressions of the Clairvoyance and the Monarch. I linked it below, but you can also, if you search, he actually has a pair of the Unique Melody MEST universals, and he says it takes them even to another level of better quality. So, which makes sense because usually when you do that, it's fit to your ear and it's the seal's better, everything like that. So it's one of those things. But the universals though are fantastic for the price, especially. So I actually picked these over. I had the U12Ts in, and I ended up buying these over the U12T, and I don't really regret it. I do think the U12Ts are kind of like they're definitely a little bit smoother. U12Ts are easier to get along with, but I love the character that these have. Like these have just a nice presence, and the sparkle with them is really nice. Reminds me of the Andromeda to some level without the crazy high treble or some of the other weird issues that the Andromeda OGs had. Anyways, Chop Suey, we'll do album version, System of a Down. Ooh, that was good. The detail is when he first starts talking right off the bat, and then the guitar, and this you can hear the slide. Oof. And see the acoustic and the electric, and the drums kick in. Oh yeah, these are definitely fun drum IEMs. Handling the speed well. Yeah, it's actually holding up really well. It's still definitely inside my head, but I can easily pick out even with it being at its height of speed. Ooh. When he's speaking quickly, it's like he's singing, and then the whisper is more in your ear, which is kind of cool. Not greatly, but it's there. It's pretty cool. And it's definitely keeping the separation enough to where it's like that's still smooth, but I can tell where everything is not bleeding together or anything. And his vocals are nice. I'm not getting any issues with this. It's overall a nice, smooth listen. All right, let's pop these out and switch them to the MEST, and then yeah, we're at 30 minutes. So I want to kind of close up with that. We'll do the last little MEST thing. Maybe I'll talk real quick about it. About overall thoughts on the clairvoyance. Let's see here. Sometimes the 2-pin though, you're like, I always feel like I'm like, oh, am I gonna break it? Is it gonna snap on inside there? But then the MMX cables, MMCX, the more BNC style, those ones are sometimes terrifying because you have to like really get into them, and these ones definitely slot in a lot easier. Just 2-pin, IMs in general. Let's see here. Chop Suey we'll go a little bit further in. Actually, that's a pretty quick track, so we'll start from the beginning. It's basically the same. It's just wider stage, better detail, tonal balance is better, imaging's better, separation's better. It's basically like taking the clairvoyance and then it's just, I don't want to put like a number to it, but I guess we could say it's like, oh, and the impact with this, it's just cleaner. It's just a cleaner impact with the drums. And it's definitely handling this is handling it a little bit better. It's not as closed in, and the separation a little bit better. So then not that these bled at all, but this is having a lot easier time with the speed. And I could place the instruments better, and then him singing, and the whispers a little bit more in your ear. Yeah. Pretty good. And you hear the separate strums is really nice. These are really fantastic, the MEST. Yeah, I like that a lot for the MEST. But the Clair, because that's what we're talking about after that comparison, for like half, I would say that places them right. Like I think these, for the price, these are performing at the right performance for these. Like they're both performing at the proper, not proper because it's all subjective when it comes to pricing towards these things and what's valuable to individuals and all that fun stuff. But to me, these are definitely performing in the price brackets. In fact, I think these are actually performing higher than the price bracket that they're in, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say these are as good as like the Andromeda 2020s, but these are the Clairs are definitely pushing towards that Andromeda 2020 capabilities. I would say these would be a little bit less finicky than the Andromedas and 2020 specifically. Like this would be like if I was going to say the evolution of like experience of like value or quality or technicalities, that kind of stuff, I would say you could easily go like the Legacy. They actually have it. It's well aligned in technicalities and performance would be like the Legacy 3, Legacy 5, then the Monarch and Clair or Clairvoyance. And then I don't know, what's the other one that they have that's even higher than this? But anyways, but these are performing really well. I'd say these perform a little bit below what the Andromeda 2020 can do from memory. For my preference, I do think the Unique Melody MEST is a fantastic IM, and it's definitely kind of whooping on these a little bit. But that's to be fair, like I said, it's almost twice the price. So taking that into account, these are fantastic because they're definitely. It's basically the sound I'm getting from the Unique Melody MEST I'm getting in these, but with a closed in, more in my head. It's not as wide. Detail isn't as good. And I mean, it's basically like, I don't want to say, it's not really cut in half per se technical capabilities, but it's I'd say these are about 70 to 75% of what the MESTs are doing. And that's that whole diminishing returns factor, right? Like as you scale up, you're going diminishing returns. But these are for the price and build quality, and then the cable and all the accessories. Words, I use them well. These are pretty fantastic. I mean, once again, like these things. I don't know if I can. Where's mine? There it is. Kind of hard to get it in pictures, but it's almost like an abalone, but it's not. It's actually flakes. They put little flakes in there, and then they have the mold over it, and it's just. And you can see ThieAudio. Let's see here. Yeah, you can see ThieAudio on the top there. It's kind of hard to focus on it because I think you kind of get the idea. They're just really pretty, and I think the Monarchs has a little more darkness in the flakes and stuff, different colors. And I think you can get these with. I think they come in different. I mean, each one's I think relatively unique because that's the nature of that kind of stuff. Where they're doing the molds and they're putting the layers on, and they have to do it all individually and that kind of stuff. In fact, this one, I think this one has more of a teal. The blue one, of course, actually has a little bit more teal in it and purple, whereas the right one actually has a little bit more pink, reddish color in the face, in the light. I don't think they did it on purpose, but kind of fun. So yeah, let's see here. And which I am. If I butcher your name, I'm terribly sorry. Which I am you experience is likely a well-defined clean bass with good impact. Would it be the most? Would it be? Yeah, I would say the MEST is definitely there with that clean. It definitely pushes the staging back though, depending on the track and that kind of thing. Where the MEST definitely has a cleaner, crisper bass impact and presence. The other thing though is I also really enjoy the Andromeda Golds, but they also, like I said, they have a bass shelf, and those are limited edition anyway, so I don't know if you can get those. You have to try, hopefully find them aftermarket, that kind of stuff, or in the used market. But so far in my experience, I would say Unique Melody MEST, and these ones are good too, the Clairvoyance, but then the Monarchs have that bass shelf, which it elevates it even more and gives you more. It's like this. It's that 200 hertz level though, so it's more of that. It really gives you the presence, really gives you that impact and that deep down rumble kind of deal. But not in a bad way. It's actually pretty clean. I think Resolve, I should have linked to his review of the Monarch, but Resolve did a review of the Monarch, and so does Ant, and in the link below he compares the two, and I think he has measurements too. And same with Resolve. If you go to the headphone show, you can check Resolve's review of the Monarch, and he talks about the bass and how it's fun, and it's pretty nice. It's pretty addictive. EJ07. I haven't heard the EJ07. I don't believe. I can look it up real quick. Excuse the typey types. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the Fearless. I think he did. I think does he? No, he didn't get those yet. I'm not sure if Resolve had those yet. Those look pretty cool though. Sure. I think maybe Ant might have had them. He might have had a review. So if you guys want like proper reviews, like I'm just doing live impressions because I have access to this stuff and talking about it from my perspective. But Antdroid does fantastic reviews. So does Resolve on IEMs. Antdroids and the Audiodiscourse guys are my go-to. Same with Precog Vision. He's done a couple IEMs. He's gonna be doing some more IEM reviews here and there. He does mostly the written reviews though. You have to go to the headphones. It's linked below, headphones.com. Just go to reviews and you can see a lot of Precog's IEMs. I think his most recent one was he did the Odin, and then he did the budget Sony MH5 or something like that. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on the Claire. Is it worth it? I don't really like talking about worth because I'm not you, but for me, I think if I hadn't heard the MEST, I would probably be buying the Monarchs. In fact, I still kind of want to buy the Monarchs, to be honest with you. That bass is pretty addictive on the Monarchs, and I only listened to them for like a couple tracks. These are basically the same thing, and it's very similar sound. It just doesn't have that 200 hertz like that deep down bass I want to say rumble, but that's not quite. I mean, they're IEMs, not much rumble can you get, but you get the idea. It has that more deep down impact than the Clairs, but the Clairs are really good for the price. I would probably, yeah, if I was jumping back into IEMs and I didn't really, was looking at the reviews and stuff like that, I'd probably look at these. It'd be probably one of my aim fours would be the Clairs and the Monarchs, because they're definitely good. Yeah, so with that being said, I will let you guys for 40 minutes trying to cut these down. So unless you have any other questions, I'll sit here for a little bit, and then I'll go any questions, or maybe one more track if you guys want another track. But yeah, for right now, I think that's it. I think the Clairs for the price, as a general use case, walk around IEM, they're pretty dang good. They're easy to get along with. I tried multiple genres. They handled them all pretty well. And I haven't had any issues with them when my listening experience with these. I've yet to have any where I was like, oh, maybe that's not the best genre for them, or any major deviations from liking them, if that makes sense. Sorry, cousin. So the Clairvoyance, so these ones, the Clairvoyance basically don't have there's a 200 hertz, I think it's 200 hertz, but there's more bass in the Monarch, basically. So if you like more bass, Monarchs. If you like kind of more of a cleaner, less bassy sound, but more mids. I mean, still with good bass, but like with more of a mids and highs focus. The Clairvoyance would probably be more in your liking. They're both the same tuning, more or less. That's as far as my understanding. But the Monarch just has a little bit more bass, quality. I'd say quantity, not necessarily quality, but more quantity to it. All right, so Clairvoyance, one more track, the Jungle Time, and we'll call it a day and let you guys get back to your beautiful, wonderful days. And it's really nice, actually. The Clairvoyance, it's kind of cool. That little, like I said, that port, that's actually really nice that it's red. It makes it a lot easier to go, okay, that's the one I need. Because a lot of them don't even have indicators on them. So I think even the MEST doesn't have an indicator on it. But usually it's big in towards the back of the ear. It's usually how you know. Let's see. I have to search for this one real quick. Jungle Time, one last. So is the band Jungle and the song is Time, or is it? I think it's Jungle Time. Maybe not. Yeah, it's really nice having those little details, Martin. I really like that too. Oh, found it. It makes it a lot nicer to. Whoa. Yeah, bandage. I got it now. It's got a really cool detail. There's like a clicking. It's on the left side and more on the right side, but more on the left side. It's really. It's still intimate, but it's for as far as stage, but it's nice. I like the little. There's like the tambourine, I believe. You hear it clapping. Pretty good detail. I like the vocals too. It's they have that nice kind of highs. They go upper mids to the highs. Pretty cool. I like this song. And the oh, that's cool. It's kind of like an electronic trumpet almost sound. kind of went from like middle to like over here, and it has a lot of cool like back and forth. Very fun track. It has a lot of details, like they kind of spatial, like the spatial. It's definitely not as wide, but like it is picking up the staging. It's just more in my head, which is nice though. This one sounds good. I like this one. I really like the tambourine, and then there's this like it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's fun. Sultan of that's a classic. Sultan of Swing. All right, Sultan of Swing. Dire Straits. Ooh, this is playing really good with this. It's still, like I said, it's in your head. I think that's the biggest difference. One of the bigger differences, not the biggest difference. One of the bigger differences is that these are more wide sounding. These are definitely more in your head. These are more intimate, I guess you could say. Oh, I should turn my notifications off on my phone. I like his voice here. And the electric guitar and like the percussion or drums is really nice. It's definitely placing them properly on the stage. It's just more enclosed in my head. This is handling these really well. Like, if you don't compare like A/B, it's kind of a classic thing, right? These would be perfectly great for most music. And if you like, yeah, electric guitar is really nice too. Yeah, I don't really have any complaints with these IEMs really. It's just they're just, when you compare them to the next level up, it's I don't have the Monarchs on hand right now, so that's the only thing I can't. I'd have to be from memory, and I wouldn't be able to obviously compare the tracks. But I would, based on my experience with, I'm assuming, I'm gonna make a guesstimate, so don't take it for gospel or anything. I would say that the Monarch, you would hear more warmth in the tracks with the Monarch, is what would probably be what you'd be getting with the Monarch. It's just, it'd be a little more bass and then a little bit more warmth, but not by a lot. I think if you look at the frequency graphs, I'm not a big FR guy or what have you, but you can kind of see it in there though. You can see how the differences between the two are. I linked below. Antdroid, I believe, has measurements of them. Is this a track, Voodoo? Polyphia Goat? All right, one last one, and it's 50 minutes. I always end up doing this. I'm trying to get these down to a little bit shorter videos, but if you guys don't mind it, I'll keep doing it. Oh, I like the what is that? It almost sounds like a xylophone. That's cool. That's a cool intro. I like that. It's kind of a little bit all over the place a little bit. It's separating well. Yeah, you're welcome. Of course. This is fun. The reason I even do these is because it's fun to interact with you guys. Wow, this is a cool track. I like this track. It's just different, right? It's got a lot of stuff going on, and these are keeping up. It's definitely keeping up with this track. It's still, like I said, in your head, but it has a more, like, this track is giving these it's presenting it in it's having more presence. Like, this track definitely is a more present track. So it's picking up on that. It's kind of a little bit overwhelming. Like, it's just this noise, nonstop noise, which is kind of cool. And not in a bad way, not like a wall of noise where you can't differentiate. It's just, there's always something going on. Yeah, that's cool. And these are keeping up with it. That's cool. That's very cool. Thanks, Voodoo, for the rec. I'm gonna add that to my to one of my favorites. You can probably even see the little heart just popped up on my little bar up here. All right. Well, anyways, I'll let you guys go back to your day, and thank you for the recommendations and tracks. It's always fun. And I hope everyone has a great remainder of the week. I might try and do another stream. Not sure on what, but who knows. I'll let you guys know if I get something going. I need to get some other stuff out here. These are going back tomorrow, as well as a bunch of all the ThieAudio stuff's going back to Antdroid tomorrow. So I might focus in on some of the other stuff I have on hand. I might do some amps or what have you. So anyways, I will let you guys know when I stream again. And I believe we're going to do a headphones.com stream on Saturday. And then also, I don't want to kind of a spoiler alert, we're going to have Alex Rosin from Rad Zero, or the Rad Zero creator. He's going to be on the headphone show next Thursday on the 19th. So that'll be a fun one to kind of, we're going to have just a fun chat with Alex Rosin from the creator of the Rad Zero's headphones next week. Yeah, so outside of that, I'll let you guys have a great remainder of your day, and I'll chat later. Cheers. And I'm going to hit the little, oh, it's blocked by my camera. End.